I'm Gavin, and this is MLS Fantasy Picks. Before we get into round 24 picks, here's a quick round 23 recap. I ended with 85 points for round 23. I had a week rank of 445, and my overall rank is now 19. Not that budget really matters anymore, but my budget increased from 183 million to 184.3 million. What went right? I was glad to see some solid points from my bench. I got Reagan's 8, not due to a clean sheet, but because he scored, and also Benteke's 11. Good to see those plays pay off. Also was glad that I had Pooj with the captain and a good Evander pick as always. Now, what went wrong? So a lot of us were probably thrown off by that New York City FC loss of the clean sheet. So I ended up going with McMath and Vera instead, which did not work out, but that's all right. Also, Santi was a flop, only putting up a 2, and I think a lot of us were burned by Chicho getting subbed early and getting us a 1, and it especially hurt if you capped him. All right, now let's take a look at the MLS Fantasy Picks leagues. Looking at the MLS Fantasy Picks Open League, shout out to Skylake FC with 112 points. Stewart, Keep, Heel, Espy, a lot of good points from a lot of players this week. And looking at our head-to-head league, still no changes, still 2 teams battling for the top spot. All right, let's get into round 24. And some key considerations for the round. To note, we do have Sporting KC on a bye week this week, so you can use them for any switcheroos, auto-roos, keepers that you've got. And also, it is a double game week, a very small one, as I think it's only Philly and Columbus on the double game week, but still, good to know. And also, always be on the lookout for any new injuries, red and yellow card suspensions. I think the big one this week is Lucho Acosta with Cincy. I think he got a yellow last week, so he should be suspended this week, so that's one of the main players to keep off your list. Let's get into our player picks for round 24. As always, getting started with keepers. So for keepers this week, not sure how common this is, but personally, I do like a Blake into McCarthy keeperoo. That way you could see both of Blake's matchups, Philly versus Columbus, and then, Red Bull New York versus Philly. So I'm not sure how great the clean sheet chances will be for Blake there, but at least you'll get to see both games, and then maybe you could pivot to McCarthy. So I'm not sure how common that'll be, but I do like it. Another option I feel is a Kalina with Charlotte going into a Lloris late or also a McCarthy late. Kalina and that Charlotte defense is pretty strong. I believe they're up against Atlanta this week. So I think a good option for a clean sheet going into a LAFC game who I think are playing Houston. So I think another decent option. So yeah, those who are like for keeper this week. And taking a look at defenders for the week. So Kai Wagner and Philly don't have the greatest of matchups, but I'm looking at, more of his attacking bonus, taking corner kicks, free kicks, things like that. So I like Wagner this week with double game week. I also like either Moreira or Farsi from Columbus. Those guys are also both pretty attacking, and they have some decent matchups as well this week for potential clean sheets. I've also got Jordi Alba. Miami, I think they even got a clean sheet last week, but they are playing Chicago, so I like that matchup against a Chicago side that's not too strong. I could also see them letting in some goals, Miami, so that's why I've also got Alba for the attacking upside. Now, more on the defensive side, I like Malanda and Charlotte, or someone like a Tim Ream. Just like I was saying with Kalina, I like their clean sheet options. They're at home against Atlanta. And then Zimmerman, I feel like he's safe for some bonus points. I'm not sure how strong Orlando has been recently, so it could be maybe a low-scoring game. But again, Nashville's away, so not my top pick. And some other stretch picks, Gallagher with Austin's got some attacking upside, and they're at home. So he could be a decent look. And also anyone, as I mentioned before, is like a late switcheroo option, a long or someone from LAFC on the defensive side. Looking at midfielders, I've got Godstyle called out here. He may be a bench play for me, but he's got a double game week. I know Columbus is very strong, also Red Bull New York, but I feel like the double game week upside sort of outweighs some other picks this week. Evander, definitely a lock for me. Portland's at home versus Seattle, definitely going to be a lot of goals in that game. On the other side, with Rusnak, he's been in good form recently. I'm expecting goals for both Portland and Seattle this game, and I see both of them getting involved. And of course, another week, another Ricky Pooj pick. LA are against St. Louis, but their defense has not been too strong as of late. And, Pooj has got plenty of great attackers alongside of him. So I feel like he'll be a solid pick for the week. And then some other stretch picks this week that I've got. I feel like there's a lot of midfield options this week. Some are, away players, so I'm not as huge of fans of them, but I still feel like they're worth calling out. Some of those players being Mihailovic with Colorado. Colorado's playing Dallas. I feel like Colorado's been clicking pretty well recently. Dallas, known to let in some goals, could be a good pick. I've also got Carlos Heel. Carlos Heel and the New England Revolution are going against Real Salt Lake in Salt Lake. So yeah, Heel's been actually putting up some decent numbers. New England looks to be buzzing. I don't think they're going to score 5 on the week. He's also got that new winger who I think scored on his debut last week. So yeah, I like Heel as well. Another player is Mateusz Bogusz from LAFC. LAFC are at home against Houston, so could be some goals there. We'll see if Bogusz can continue his good form that he had earlier in the season. But yeah, plenty of options at midfield this week. So as I said, there were a lot of good midfield picks. I feel like we're also spoiled with a lot of good forward options for the week. So I've got Cucho and Rossi here. I feel like, Columbus is one of the best teams, or the best team in the MLS right now, and they're on a double game week, so I'm definitely tripling up on Columbus this week. I like both of them as strikers. Of course, you can't forget Buwanga, LAFC at home against Houston. And then some other players I'm taking a look at, actually both of Portland strikers. So you've got Rodriguez and Mora. I know we've been looking at Rodriguez a lot most of the season, but Mora is also performing. He put up great points last week, and he's clicking with Evander. So I feel like both of those guys are decent options this week. And then JMO, Jordan Morris with Seattle. I feel like there's going to be plenty of goals with that Portland-Seattle game. Morris has been scoring. Could be a good option. And then Suarez from Miami. He put up great numbers last week, and he could look to do the same against Chicago. And you can't forget about Gabriel Peck with the Galaxy. They are away, though, against a St. Louis squad. So again, lots of options, I feel, at the forward position. I don't know how chalky we're going to be this week, besides our double game week players. So yeah, could look out to be a pretty fun week. And when it comes to captains this week, I feel like it's an obvious Cucho pick. Double game week, it's Cucho. I don't know. Convince me otherwise in the comments if you're picking someone else besides Cucho. I've got no one else to recommend. So that wraps it up for me this week, folks. Hope you had a good week last week, and best of luck for this upcoming round of MLS Fantasy. I should have my team reveal out by Tuesday night in preparation for our Columbus and Philly game on Wednesday. Good luck, everyone.